Hello everyone and welcome. It's so good to have you here with me today. We live in a world that celebrates the loud, the fast, the visible. We're taught that strength is about pushing harder, moving faster, and making a big impact that everyone can see. But what I've come to understand, in the deepest parts of my soul, is that true, unshakable strength is often quiet. It's invisible. It's the steady, silent work we do on the inside when no one is watching, the kind of fortitude that holds you together when life tries to pull you apart. It's not about the hustle, it's about the heart. Today, we're going to talk about something different. We're going to explore the gentle, personal practices that build profound mental and emotional strength, not through sheer force, but through grace. These aren't about adding more to your to-do list or pushing yourself to the brink. Instead, they are about slowing down, tuning in, and allowing a deeper, more resilient part of you to emerge. It's about finding strength in the stillness, clarity in the quiet, and resilience in the gentle rhythms of your own life. These practices invite you to meet yourself with compassion and to build a foundation of inner peace that can withstand any storm. The beautiful thing about what we're going to discuss is its simplicity. These are small, slow, often unnoticed acts that you can weave into your everyday life. They don't require a grand gesture or a dramatic overhaul. They are the quiet whispers of self-care, the gentle moments of connection with your own spirit and with God. But don't let their simplicity fool you. Over time, these quiet practices are deeply transformative. They are the seeds of an inner strength that will grow, silently and surely, into a mighty tree, grounding you in grace and peace. So, let's begin this journey together. The first practice, and perhaps the most foundational, is the simple act of sitting in silence. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Silence, in this world, with all its noise and demands, it can feel almost impossible, can't it? Our phones are buzzing, the notifications are piling up, and our minds are often racing with 1,000 thoughts, 1,000 worries, 1,000 plans. We've become so accustomed to the constant hum of activity that the absence of it can feel unsettling, even frightening at first. But I want to invite you to lean into that discomfort just for a moment. To begin this practice, you don't need a special cushion or a dedicated meditation room. All you need is you, a chair, and a willingness to be still for just a few minutes. Find a quiet corner in your home, maybe early in the morning before the day begins or late at night after everything is settled down. Turn off the television, put your phone in another room, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just be. Don't try to stop your thoughts or force a feeling of peace. Simply allow yourself to sit in the quiet. At first, your mind will likely feel louder than ever. You'll remember an email you forgot to send. You'll worry about a conversation you need to have. You'll plan your grocery list. And that's okay. The point isn't to have an empty mind. The point is to notice the noise without getting swept away by it. Imagine your thoughts are like clouds passing in the sky. You can observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently let them drift by, returning your focus to the sensation of your breath, the feeling of your feet on the floor. This practice is about creating a space between you and your thoughts, a little pocket of stillness where your spirit can breathe. It's in this stillness that you begin to untangle yourself from the urgency of the world. Start to realize that you are not your anxieties. You are not your to-do list. You are the calm observer underneath it all. It is a profound act of coming home to yourself, of finding a center in the midst of the chaos. This isn't just a psychological exercise, it is a deeply spiritual one. There is a reason the scripture says, "Be still and know that I am God." It doesn't say, "Be busy and know that I am God," or "Hustle harder and you will find me." It says, "Be still." It is in the quiet, when we cease our striving and our frantic doing, that we can finally hear that still, small voice. It's in the silence that we create an opening for the divine to enter. When you sit in silence, you are declaring that you are worthy of peace. You are making a conscious choice to disconnect from the world's noise so you can connect with something deeper, something eternal. You are allowing your soul to settle, like sediment in a glass of cloudy water until clarity emerges. You are not doing nothing. you are doing one of the most important things you can possibly do for your mental and spiritual well-being. So I encourage you, start with just 5 minutes. 5 minutes of uninterrupted intentional silence. Let it be your sacred appointment with yourself and with God. Over time, you will find that this quiet space becomes a sanctuary, a wellspring of peace and strength that you can return to again and again. It is in this stillness that you will come to know not only God, but the unshakable, resilient, and peaceful truth of your own soul. The next practice is one of radical honesty, a quiet conversation with the most important person in your life, yourself. I'm talking about journaling. Not for an audience, not to create a perfect narrative, but for the raw, unedited, and beautiful truth of your own experience. So many of us go through our days wearing a mask, performing the role of the capable employee, the patient parent, the supportive friend. We present a version of ourselves that we think the world wants to see, and in the process, we can lose touch with who we truly are underneath it all. The blank page of a journal offers a sacred, private space where you can take off the mask. It's a place where there is no judgment, no expectation, and no need for performance. Here you can be messy, you can be confused, you can be angry or sad or filled with a joy you can't quite articulate. Your pen becomes a key, unlocking the jumbled thoughts and feelings that are swirling around in your mind and heart, and laying them out on the page where you can finally see them. The act of writing is a powerful tool for untangling. When our thoughts are just bouncing around in our heads, they can feel overwhelming, chaotic, and impossibly large. But when you write them down, something magical happens. The chaos begins to take form. The vague anxieties become specific worries you can address. The tangled knot of emotions begins to loosen, revealing the individual threads of sadness, frustration, or hope. It's like turning on a light in a cluttered room. Suddenly, you can see what's really there. This isn't about writing beautiful prose or having profound insights every time you open your journal. Some days, you might just write, "I'm so tired," over and over again. And that is perfectly okay. The power is in the honesty. It's in allowing yourself to express the full truth of your moment without censoring it. It's in meeting yourself, right where you are, with a spirit of compassion and curiosity rather than criticism. What is really going on with me today? What am I truly feeling? The page is waiting to hold it all. Spiritually, this practice is a profound reflection of our relationship with God. The truth is, God meets you in your honesty, not in your performance. He already knows your heart, your struggles, your secret joys, and your hidden fears. You don't need to pretend to be stronger, or more faithful, or more put together than you are. When you pour out your heart onto the page, you are practicing the very vulnerability that draws you closer to the divine. You are saying, "This is me, all of me, and I trust that I am held in love, even in my messiness." Journaling becomes a form of prayer, a written conversation with your Creator. It's a space to ask the hard questions, to confess the difficult truths, to celebrate the small graces, and to simply be present with your own soul in the presence of God. You are creating a record of your journey, not just of the events, but of the inner landscape of your heart. Looking back on old entries can be a powerful testament to how far you've come, and a reminder of God's faithfulness through it all. So get yourself a simple notebook, something that feels good in your hands. Don't worry about making it perfect. Let it be a space for your truth. Write when you feel called to it. Let it be a sanctuary for your thoughts, a place where you can meet yourself with grace and honesty. This quiet act of showing up for yourself, pen in hand, is a powerful way to build mental clarity and a deep, authentic connection with your own spirit. In our rush world, even our walks can become a mission. We power walk for exercise. We stride purposefully to get from point A to point B. We're so focused on the destination, on the calorie burn, on the efficiency of it all, that we miss the journey itself. The third practice I want to share with you is an invitation to reclaim the walk, to transform it from a task into a meditation. It's the practice of walking slowly, especially in nature, and allowing it to teach you the art of presence. Imagine this. You step outside, not with a goal in mind, but simply to be. You begin to walk, but you deliberately slow your pace. You feel the solid ground beneath your feet with each step. You notice the way your body moves, the gentle swing of your arms. You're not rushing towards anything. you are simply moving through the world, one unhurried step at a time. This intentional slowness sends a powerful signal to your entire being, especially your nervous system. When we are constantly rushing, our bodies are in a low-grade state of fight or flight. Our heart rate is up, our breathing is shallow, our muscles are tense. We are primed for threat and urgency. A slow, mindful walk is the antidote. It communicates safety to your body. It allows your nervous system to downshift, to move into a state of rest and digest. Your breathing deepens, your heart rate slows, and a sense of calm begins to wash over you. It is a physical act that creates profound mental and emotional peace. Now, take this practice into nature, and its power is magnified tenfold. Nature operates on a different clock than we do. It doesn't hurry. A tree doesn't rush to grow its leaves. A river doesn't stress about reaching the ocean. When you immerse yourself in the natural world and match its unhurried pace, you begin to sync up with its rhythm. You start to notice the little things you'd normally miss. The intricate pattern on a leaf, the sound of the wind rustling through the trees, the feeling of the sun on your skin. This practice pulls you out of the frantic chatter of your mind and anchors you firmly in the present moment. You can't worry about tomorrow's meeting when you are captivated by the sight of a bird building its nest. You can't ruminate on yesterday's mistakes when you are focused on the feeling of cool moss under your fingertips. Nature, in its quiet majesty, demands your presence, and in that presence, you find a respite from the anxieties that so often plague you. This connects to a deep spiritual truth. God works through seasons, not urgency. Think about it. The earth cycles through spring, summer, fall, and winter, each with its own purpose and its own pace. There is a time for planting, a time for growing, a time for harvesting, and a time for rest. Nothing is rushed. When we walk slowly in nature, we are reminded that our own lives follow similar seasons. There will be times of vibrant growth and times of quiet dormancy, and both are necessary and good. It teaches us to trust the process, to have faith in the unfolding of our own journey. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed, the next time your mind is racing, I invite you to step outside. Leave your phone behind. Find a park, a trail, or even just a tree-lined street in your neighborhood. And walk. Walk slowly. Breathe deeply. Let the rhythm of your steps become a prayer. Let the sights and sounds of the natural world soothe your soul. This simple, graceful act can be one of the most powerful ways to quiet your mind, calm your body, and reconnect with the steady, patient, and loving presence of your Creator. When the seas of life get choppy, when you feel tossed about by uncertainty, anxiety, or change, what you need most is an anchor. Something solid and predictable to hold on to that brings you back to center. This brings us to our fourth practice, the profound strength found in returning to one simple, grounding routine. In a world that constantly changes, a consistent routine can be a sanctuary for your mind, creating a sense of safety and stability from the inside out. I'm not talking about a rigid, complicated schedule that adds more pressure to your life. On the contrary, I'm talking about choosing one small, repeatable act that you can perform with intention and presence. It could be the ritual of making your morning cup of coffee or tea, the sound of the water boiling, the aroma of the beans or leaves, the warmth of the mug in your hands. It could be 5 minutes of gentle stretching when you first get out of bed, a moment to connect with your body before the day's demands begin. It could be watering your plants, reading a single page from a book of wisdom, or tidying one small corner of your home. The what of the routine is less important than the how. The key is to perform this small act with your full attention, to treat it not as another chore to be checked off, but as a sacred moment of return. It's a way of saying to yourself, no matter what else is happening, I can come back to this. This is my anchor. This simple repetition creates a powerful sense of mental and emotional safety. Our brains are wired to find comfort in predictability. When everything feels chaotic and out of control, a grounding routine provides a small island of order. It's a predictable rhythm in an unpredictable world. When you faithfully return to this one small act, you are sending a message to your nervous system that you are safe, that there is a foundation beneath you, even when the ground feels like it's shaking. Over time, this routine becomes more than just an action. It becomes a trigger for peace. Your mind and body begin to associate this ritual with a feeling of calm and centeredness. The moment you start the routine, you begin to feel the shift. It's like a well-worn path in a forest. The more you walk it, the clearer and more comforting it becomes. It is your personal, reliable pathway back to a state of inner equilibrium. This practice beautifully reflects the spiritual truth of God's faithfulness in the ordinary. We often look for God in the grand miracles, the burning bushes, the parting of the seas. And He is there. But He is also profoundly present in the small, everyday moments, in the quiet faithfulness of the rising sun, in the steady rhythm of our own breath. God is a God of consistency. His love is not fickle. His grace is not a one-time event. It is a constant, steady presence in our lives. When you commit to a simple, grounding routine, you are, in a way, mirroring this divine faithfulness in your own life. You are practicing consistency. You are honoring the sacredness of the ordinary. You are discovering that resilience isn't always built in the dramatic moments of crisis, but in the quiet, steady, day in and day out practice of showing up for yourself. Find your one small thing, your anchor, and return to it, faithfully. You will be amazed at the strength you find in the simple, steady rhythm of the ordinary. We are living in the age of information overload. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep, we are bombarded with noise. It's not just audible noise like traffic or television. It's the noise of endless emails, breaking news alerts, social media feeds, and the constant stream of other people's opinions, anxieties, and demands. This relentless influx of information can leave us feeling scattered, anxious, and disconnected from our own inner voice. The fifth practice, then, is an act of quiet rebellion, intentionally limiting the noise. This isn't about becoming a hermit or cutting yourself off from the world entirely. It's about becoming a wise and discerning gatekeeper of your own mind and heart. It's about making conscious choices about what you allow in. Think of your attention and your mental space as a beautiful, sacred room. If you leave the doors and windows wide open all the time, anyone and anything can wander in, leaving it cluttered, messy, and chaotic. Choosing to limit noise is like gently closing the door for a while so you can have some peace. This can take many forms. It might mean designating specific times of the day to check your email and social media, rather than being constantly tethered to your phone. It could mean choosing to listen to calming music or a thoughtful podcast instead of the news during your commute. It might be as simple as having one no-screen hour before you go to bed, allowing your mind to unwind and prepare for restful sleep. It is a conscious, loving act of creating boundaries for your own well-being. When you intentionally reduce the external noise, something remarkable begins to happen. You start to hear your own inner voice more clearly, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own intuition, the things that are so often drowned out by the clamor of the world, begin to rise to the surface. You can hear the gentle whispers of your own heart. What do I truly need right now? What is my spirit trying to tell me? What feels right for me, separate from what everyone else is saying or doing? This practice is about reclaiming your inner authority. For so long, we let the world tell us who to be, what to want, and how to feel. By creating pockets of quiet, you give yourself the space to discern your own truth. You begin to trust your own wisdom. This doesn't happen overnight. At first, the silence might feel empty, but if you stick with it, you will find that it is not empty at all. It is filled with the quiet, steady presence of your own soul. The spiritual wisdom behind this is ancient and profound. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Guarding your heart in the modern world means guarding your attention. It means being mindful of the information, the energy, and the voices you allow to influence your inner state. Your peace is precious, and it is worth protecting. You are not obligated to consume every piece of news, every opinion, every controversy. You have permission to choose peace. Choosing less input is an act of strength, not weakness. It is a declaration that you value your inner serenity more than you value being constantly in the know. It clarifies your thinking, calms your nervous system, and strengthens your connection to your own spirit and to God. So, I invite you to look at your day and find one small way you can turn down the volume of the world. Just one. Protect your peace. Guard your heart. In the quiet that follows, you will find a clarity and a strength you never knew you were missing. Our world is obsessed with productivity. Every action is often measured by its outcome, its efficiency, its usefulness. We work for a paycheck, we exercise for our health, we cook for sustenance, even our hobbies can become side hustles. In this relentless pursuit of purpose, we can forget one of the most vital ingredients for a healthy soul, pure, unadulterated joy. This final practice is an invitation to reclaim that joy through the act of creating something, not for praise or profit, but simply for the delight of it. Think back to when you were a child. You would draw, or sing, or build with blocks, not because you were trying to become a great artist or musician, but because it was fun. You were lost in the process, in the joy of making something that wasn't there before. This practice is about reconnecting with that childlike spirit of play. It's about engaging in a creative act purely for its own sake, releasing any and all attachment to the outcome. What does this look like for you? It could be anything. It could be getting a simple set of watercolors and just playing with the colors on the page, watching them bleed into one another. It could be humming a tune while you do the dishes, or dancing around your living room to your favorite song. It could be trying a new recipe just for the fun of it, arranging flowers in a vase, or writing a silly poem that no one will ever see. The key here is to let go of the inner critic, that voice that whispers, "You're not good enough," or "What's the point of this?" The point is the joy. The point is the process. The point is the feeling of being alive and engaged in the act of creation. When you are absorbed in a creative flow, time seems to melt away. Your worries recede into the background. You are fully present, fully engaged, and your heart feels a sense of expansion and lightness. This is not a frivolous or selfish act. It is a deeply restorative one. When you create for joy, you are filling your own well. You are nourishing your spirit. It is a powerful antidote to burnout, stress, and the heavy weight of responsibility. It reminds you that you are more than your roles and your to-do lists. You are a being capable of joy, play, and imagination. This playful creativity strengthens your heart and builds a unique kind of resilience, the resilience that comes from a well-nourished soul. The spiritual truth here is one of the most beautiful of all. You are created in the image of a creator. The impulse to make, to shape, to bring forth something new is woven into the very fabric of your being. When you engage in a creative act, no matter how small or unimportant it may seem, you are participating in that divine nature. You are mirroring the creative energy of the universe. You are tapping into the same source that paints the sunsets and designs the snowflakes. So, I encourage you to make a little space for pointless, joyful creation in your life. Don't wait until you feel inspired or have a grand idea. Just begin. Pick up a crayon. Sing off-key in the car. Allow yourself to be a beginner, to be clumsy, to be imperfect. Let the goal be nothing more than the simple, profound pleasure of the act itself. In doing so, you will not only restore your own sense of joy, but you will also honor the divine spark of creativity that lives within you. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this encouragement. These practices we've talked about today, sitting in silence, journaling with honesty, walking slowly, returning to a routine, limiting noise, and creating for joy, they may not feel dramatic. There won't be a sudden lightning bolt of transformation. Your life may not look drastically different on the outside tomorrow. This is quiet work. It's slow work, but I promise you, over time, it builds the deepest, most unshakable kind of resilience. It's like the slow, steady growth of a tree's roots, happening invisibly beneath the surface, creating a foundation that can withstand any storm. So please, be gentle with yourself on this journey. Don't turn these graceful practices into another list of things you have to do perfectly. Some days, you will only manage 2 minutes of silence. Some days, your journal will remain closed. That's okay. The goal is not perfection, it's presence. It's the gentle, compassionate return to yourself, again and again. Remember that growth, true spiritual growth, is often invisible. It's happening in the quiet moments, in the small choices, in the spaces between the noise. Trust that even when you can't see it, God is working quietly within you, weaving threads of grace and strength into the fabric of your soul. Grace doesn't rush, healing doesn't shout. Sometimes the strongest work God does in you happens quietly, and that too is grace in the journey.